All right, so Disney Plus is out, and Disney Plus has inspired something in me, and I'm going to tell you about it. This is Master the Game. I am Juice, and if this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and yeah, enjoy the rest of my content. I got a lot of stuff about D&D. I do other games as well. Have live plays I post of my games that I stream over on Twitch, which we're doing a lot of good stuff over there right now. But anyways, let's get into it. So Disney Plus has my favorite cartoon of all time, and that is the X-Men. X-Men growing up was the epitome of my cartoon loving. It's actually what got me to like comic books when I was playing t-ball and coach's pitch and all that stuff. It wasn't t-ball because I think, yeah, I was 7, so it was probably coach's pitch baseball. We had my dad and my mom would like basically say if I had a good game, they'd buy me a comic book. So I got a lot of comic books back then because we had a little tiny comic book shop that was probably smaller than my game room here actually. And so they would get me the X-Men comics. They'd go in and get me an X-Men comic. And I didn't really read it much. I usually would just look at the pictures and stuff like that. I was really into the art more than anything. And Wolverine was my favorite. But that cartoon inspired me for a lot of my life on a lot of different things I'm interested in, types of games I'm interested in. The When I was 12 and I got into Heroes Unlimited, I always wanted to play a game that felt like the X-Men, kind of like that world where it's mutants against humans or humans against anything superpowered, right? Like, and not necessarily all of them, some of them. Like, there's that gray area of like, I guess it touches on like racism and stuff, right? But I always wanted to play mutants that were trying to like change the world for the better. That was always appealing to me and still is. I still would love to play a campaign where I was in a group sort of like the X-Men and, we were doing good things. And yes, there were bad mutants and superpowered things and robots and whatever out there. And there were good and bad humans, and all that stuff. I would love something to feel like that. And it all comes from that cartoon. Recently, I introduced it to my son. He's 4. He's probably a little young for it, but at the same time, he enjoys it. And so we're watching it. We've watched a few episodes. The early episodes are really good with like the Sentinels and Morph going dead and missing, and Beast being locked up, and I just love it. I love the tension between Cyclops and Wolverine, and all of that. The Gambit Rogue stuff, Jubilee basically shooting little sparklers out of her fingertips. It's a good season. And it tells the type of superhero story I like to tell, or the idea of it. Superman doesn't interest me. It's almost, he's too powerful. I liked the Batman cartoons when I was little, the animated series. I liked the Spider-Man shows of the 90s. And those things, the more like street level stuff up to X-Men power, which obviously X-Men go like world saving a few seasons in and stuff. But that's the superhero stuff I'm really into. And that's when it comes to playing superheroes RPGs, which I really want to do right now. I've been dying and itching to play something supers based, whether it's the Vigilante City by Bloat Games, or Heroes Unlimited by Palladium Books, or oh gosh, I don't have Mutants and Masterminds, but I'd be up for playing that. I have actually the Power Up. Oh gosh, Babarchi's gonna kill me. Power Up Gaming, that one's a good one I could probably play, but again, most people don't have that game yet. And there's others that are out there. I've played Savage Worlds. Again, it's not my go-to system. If I had the right group, maybe I could play a Supers game of that, but I'm not really that interested in playing Savage Worlds. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's others, but Modern Age or Cipher System might be a good one. I don't have Modern Age. I don't know if that covers supers, and I don't have Cipher System. So, but I'd be open to it. So, anyways, if you want to play, comment below, and I'll get you in my Discord. Maybe we can get something set up. But for some superhero gaming, ideally, I would play X-Men level supers games, where they basically are regional, but maybe still travel the globe and save the world and things like that. But nobody likes Superman. I don't want anyone like Superman. I like the idea of characters having like one or two really good powers, maybe a minor power. So basically, if you're using Heroes Unlimited, it's like 2 majors, 1 minor, possibly, or 2 minors, 1 major. Because that would be ideal. And gosh, I'll probably end up resorting to Heroes Unlimited, and I'll probably end up having to run a game that's kind of like that. But yeah, X-Men is hands down. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you have Disney Plus, which I'm sure most of you do now, because that is it's actually a really good and affordable service for streaming. I highly recommend watching X-Men. I plan on watching the whole thing, getting some ideas. Maybe I'll come up with some campaign stuff. And, if I haven't joined the game as a player, I will definitely try to set something up as a GM probably next year sometime. And then, or I say next year, basically 2 months from now after the new year is what I'm thinking. Yeah, so anyways, and then there's some... I would like to watch Spider-Man's on there, so I'd like to watch that as well before I plan anything, so I can kind of incorporate it. But there's good cartoon series that are like Spider-Man and Marvel, just Marvel based in general. I want to watch the Spider-Man ones, especially some of the newer ones, like since the 90s, and then same thing with X-Men, so early 90s to mid 90s, and then I want to watch the newer ones like X-Men. I think it's like Evolution and things like that, where it's a little different. Those are the ones I kind of want to watch and get some ideas from. But if you have some ideas for campaigns, for supers, post it below. If you think playing in an X-Men style supers game would be a lot of fun, let me know. Like I said, I would love to get something going. I think that would be a blast. So, yeah. And maybe we would run it like episodic, so it's not necessarily... okay, we end on a cliffhanger and we continue to pick up, kind of like what I would do with D&D. It'd be more of like, you go do stuff on this episode or session, and then next session might technically take place 3 weeks after the previous session, and so then you go and do something else. That might be the way to do it. But, yeah, supers games are really interesting to me, and, I don't feel like they get the love they deserve. With how popular like the Marvel movies are and stuff, I feel like there should be some really popular supers RPGs. And I just don't feel like there are. Like, obviously there's Champions or whatever, and I think there's that. There's Heroes Unlimited, there's Mutants and Masterminds, there's systems out there. But it just doesn't feel like they're that popular. And I don't know why, because there are a ton of people who like superheroes and comic books and things like that. So, yeah, if you have a take on that, I'd love to hear your hot take on it. So, that's it, though. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Be sure to hammer that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Game on.